Hi, it's Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and today we're talking about the good enough self. So object relations theory is one of my favorites as an art therapist. Obviously symbolism and object relations kind of goes hand in hand with my art therapy background. And so the good enough self comes from object relations theory. It really talks about the good enough mother, and I take that idea of the good enough mother and I challenge you to look at the good enough self. And that means that we're removing these ideas of perfectionism and we're living in a moment of radically accepting what our capacity is and what we can do, and knowing that we just need to be good enough. We need to be the good enough student. We need to be the good enough employee. We need to be the good enough parent, the good enough child. And what that does is it creates humility. It creates grace. It creates an ability for you to just be able to show up in the present without being bombarded with all these shoulda couldas, because perfectionism is so tainted and it's so thwarted in our perception. We are human and humans are not perfect, and we have to accept that no matter what we do, no matter how well we do it, no matter if we are a top achiever, a gold medalist in the Guinness Book of World Records, it does not matter. We are not perfect beings, and we are not able to achieve perfection. So letting go from that ideal really opens you to being able to live a happier and healthier life. And so the ways in which we do that is radical acceptance. Is we look at life as how it presents to us. Does it serve us? Does it not serve us? And then we say, okay, what can I do? Like, is it asking me to serve it? What can I do in this moment to be the good enough self? And that allows us to be more logical. It allows us to be more grounded and make grounded, action-oriented, rational decisions towards whatever is being presented to us. So last week, you can go back to those videos. We talked all about decision making and how often we get sucked into emotional decision making and we're not actually here, and how people in our lives use that against us. There's a lot of psychology around sales and decision making and how to use people to gain your favor. Truly, how to manipulate to gain favor. It's not supposed to be that bad, but that's why people get so angry and judgmental of sales. Sales is just another way of getting something done. But that's why. It's because we feel manipulated sometimes. And honestly, there are times we are manipulated. And that can be for the good. It helps us to connect with something that we may have needed. And this will help us to be educated on what we needed. And sometimes for the bad, like it wasn't something we needed. It doesn't really serve us. And it actually feeds these external validators that keep us more and more dependent and less free and less connected to our values. So being the good enough self is letting go of these ideas of perfection, finding acceptance for what your capacity is, and setting boundaries. And this will allow you to have some self-compassion. It'll allow you to have more sense of self-worth. It'll allow you to better interact with others, especially if work-life balance is difficult for you and you're wanting something more. More than likely, trying to find perfection in the workplace, it's not achievable, and what you're doing is you're really building a very negative and toxic dynamic for yourself, because the expectation is if perfection is waved in front of you and you can't say no and you're a people pleaser, then what you're going to find is your value goes less. And I do have a video about that, so you can take a look at, trying to find your value and establishing your value and worth. Can help you to learn more, but this sense of drive to do more really will have you being and feeling less. So think about the next time you approach something, and you're trying to seek that sense of perfection. I highly recommend to take a deep breath, see and establish how is life presenting to you in the here and now. Are you serving life? Is life asking you to serve it, or is life asking to serve you? And then how does it serve you? Like, is this a part of your values and your beliefs and your goals? And then how do you want to take one action-oriented step forward, and removing those ideas and having more compassion about what our capacity is and being just good enough. I am Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much. Hi, it's Jennifer Evans. I hope you are liking my videos. If you do, please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. If there's topics that you're just dying to know about, and why do I do this and why do they do that, I would love to answer them. I do come from a cognitive behavioral background, but as we see in some of my videos, I love object relations. I love attachment theory. I love Erickson and his psychosocial developmental theories. So I do pull from a lot of different places in order to kind of build out that our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors, something triggers it, and there's always a consequence after it. And that is the beauty of life and why we have a lot more control over our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors than we give ourselves credit for. This is a huge passion of mine, a calling, if you will. And I am here to support you. I've written 2 books, and I've got, the goal is 3 a year. So I've got several that are coming out in different, on different topics. But what we have right now, and you can go click on the Amazon link in the video descriptions below, but we have Saying Goodbye to Bad Brain. This is going to go and teach you everything you need to know about your negative narrative. So if you feel like life is hard and it just feels like you don't understand people, or you don't understand why somebody you love keeps making the dumbest mistakes and decisions, what is their problem? They have bad brain. Go read about it. Find some empathy. Find some grace, because that is just them recapitulating their past. And we do it for ourselves, and other people do it to us. And so when we know what they're doing, it makes it feel a lot less annoying and a lot more like we have agency over those experiences. So Saying Goodbye to Bad Brain. I also just released, and I'm very excited, is Key Steps to Living a Happier and Healthier Life. This is a workbook that is going to help you define what your values are, what success is for you, and what your vision of success, and it is going to go through everything that stresses us out and makes us live in suffering and despair, allow that bad brain to get involved, and instead of living in the present. So this will go through all the main things: building a work-life balance, being able to be good enough, finding radical acceptance, decision making, which who would have thought that that was something, but it really breaks everything down that prevents you from living a happier and healthier life, and then allowing you to challenge those thoughts so that you can. So these are the key skills. So in my practice, I take the ABC model from Albert Ellis, through CBT. And I kind of open it up to this kind of overarching trajectory. And so we have awareness, acceptance, action. So the 3 A's of my treatment, support with others, whether that's coaching or in therapy, through my books, and I have success groups as well. So I've got a lot of supports, and I use the same model. And that is, we need to build awareness about kind of why we do the things we do. We accept it. We don't agree, but we accept, okay, this is kind of my trajectory. I can see how it all comes together. I see trending patterns. I see how I act the same way. Actually, I get frustrated, but yet I'm acting the same exact ways because it is predictable, because that's my brain. It's bad brain working. It's a really good book. And so then we have action. And so I teach you lots and lots of ways to understand what the brain is doing and how to counter, how to challenge, counter, and do opposite actions. And so we have lots and lots of ways. The Bad Brain book has tons of ways in which we do that. And then the workbook has ways to start reflecting. We have exercises, activities, and journal prompts. And this book will actually, Key Steps to Living a Happier and Healthier Life, will follow my success group. So it is a 6-month success group. We break it down into 9 weeks. This is part 1, is living a happier and healthier life. Then we're going to have, we also have a part 2 section and a part 3. So you can come in at each of those sections, and it will have a continuous flow. Part 2 is our emotional regulation. So we're really looking at the relationship we have with ourselves and how the bad brain comes in and makes us reactionary, and how to calm and be more action oriented. Part 3 is interpersonal skills. How do you relate with others? How do you make yourself available? The key to life is you can't control the outcomes. You got to put all those processes out there. How do you put yourself out in that process to help others and to let others help you? That is section 3. We do have a subscription program, so accountability is everything, and it is in my first part of this workbook. So you can sign up, go to my website, counselingwellnesssolutions.com. It is in the description, and check out all of these great programs that I have set up to help everybody live a happier and healthier life, no matter where your state of change. Thank you so much. Please like and share my videos. I would appreciate it. Thank you.